Okay, welcome back to part 2 of this Bluegill Bream wood carving project. As you saw in part 1, I got the body all done and I got the fins roughed out, and in this segment I'm going to be working on the detail on the fins and probably start adding the detail to the head gill area here. So I'm gonna get the camera turned around here and get started. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start taking these fins down to closer to the thickness they're going to be, and then I'll draw in the rays and spines on them and start bringing out the detail of those. So I'm just going to take this down a little bit more here. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking it down equal amounts on both sides here, because I want to have this curve in it so that it'll match the curve of the back. So I'm just taking it down a little bit at a time. Alright, I got that down as thin as I'm going to take it right now with this. So I'm going to do these others, get them down to the thin spot that I want, and then I'm going to sand them down smooth, and I'll draw on the pattern. And I am using a this is a saber tooth bit. It's just a little bit finer grain textured than this cuts all fine. So I like it for using going down to even finer. Doesn't leave as strong a tool mark as the cuts all does. I wish cuts all made a finer one like this, but they don't. Alright, I've got that one thinned down. Work on these pectoral fins now. One side just going to be cupped a little bit. This side I had more of a flowing fin. And let's get these done here. Alright, I'm going to use a spear now to just kind of round out these shapes in the curves. It does a better job and I can control it better. One of the things too that I've been guilty of is going too thin and then not being able to put the ray detail in. So it's actually probably about twice as thick as a real fin would be, but on the end it's thinned out, so it gives the overall appearance of a thin fin without it being too thin. All right, I got all the fins drawn out. Drew them out with pencil first, and I went over them with the black Sharpie, fine black Sharpie, so that I can keep an eye on the lines. The pectoral fins to me, are the hardest ones to get the detail in, just because there's more spines in the pectoral fins than they're closer together. The pelvic fins, there's only the main point spine here, and then there's only 5 rays. So, and then the dorsal's not as hard either, but for the anal, and then the dorsal's not as hard because they're a little farther apart. But on these pectoral fins, it's a little harder to do. That's always my trouble spot. So we get the tail drawn out here, and I've also drawn in the face detail, and I'm going to look at that for a day or two, because, and I've said this before, the eyes are the most critical. They need to be straight on the front of the face, they need to be on the same side, and they need to be even. So if one of them's off, if this one's too far back, this one's too far forward, or if one's too low and too high, it'll be noticeable. It is to me anyway, and it just bugs me to death when they're not straight. So I'm going to work on the fins, and I'll pick this up and look at it from time to time, and I may rearrange some of that just to make sure. And then I've got some calipers I'll use to measure them. I can't find them right now. I think they're in the house. I thought I had them in my box here, but I don't have them out here, but I'll do that later. I'm going to work on the fins first anyway, to get those closer to being done before I start on the gills. So let me get set up here with a different handpiece for the smaller bits that I'll be using for this. And to start taking these detail out, I'm just using a diamond ball, and I'm going to start taking them down here. Ooh, that wind's chilly. You can see that texture starting to come in, the texture of the spines. The black on there kind of hides it, but it's breaking out the spines here. I gotta switch to a smaller ball to get down in these. All right, you may or may not have noticed that I'm using a brand new tool that I just got, and bring this over and talk about it just a minute. This is the Marathon high-speed rotary tool, and this is the K5 model, and I just got this from Bearwood Supply Company. And let the truck go by. But I just got this from Bearwood Supply Company. I've been wanting one for a long time. I've been watching guys online use them, and I've decided I wanted one, so finally got me one here, and so far I really like it. And this is like I say, this is the high speed. It's 30,000 RPMs. The base kit, I believe, was $194, and it comes with the handpiece. Now the handpiece is the motor. The motor's actually in here, and I can tell it's well made. It's with it on. I can just tell it's well made. And this is the control unit, and it comes with the little bracket to hold the tool on. If you want to put it in there. There's also a tabletop version, and it comes with a foot control. I'll bring that up here, you can see that. And that's just it's just a on or off. There's no variable speed on it. There is a variable speed control here. Get that for. So but this is just on off, and it just plugs in the back. You don't have to use this. You can turn it off and on just by switching this hand piece here, and then using the power switch to turn it off and on. And this is going to be close to you somewhere here, so it's nothing to reach down there and turn it off and on. But I'm going to keep the foot piece on it just because I'm used to using the Fordham's foot pedal. I'm just gonna have to realize I don't have to push on this hard for top speed. Let's see here. Back out there it is. But like I say, so far I really like it, and I think it's a neat little unit. Now I've read a lot of reviews on it, and it's gotten a lot of good reviews. And I've looked at other ones. Fordham makes a desktop version, high speed, and it's high dollar. I believe the ones I looked at were around $400 or $500, and I think there's some that's even higher. But it's easy to use. I think the maintenance is easy on them. It comes with, like I said, it comes with the tool holders. The handpiece, and there's a little collet here that it comes with for smaller shaft, like the 3/32 inch shaft bits, and I'll just show you how to do that here. To release the bit, there's a ring here on the handpiece itself. You just turn it, unlock it, take the bit out, put the new bit in, locks it in place. And if you're using the smaller shaft bits, like the 3/32, you put that little adapter on there and lock it in, and it holds it in place. So probably what I'm going to do though is I'm going to order get online and order some more of these from Bearwoods, just because I know my fat fingers, I'm going to end up dropping that somewhere and not be able to find it. So I'm going to order some extras just to have on hand. So go to bearwood.com. If there's anything you need, check them out. Use my name Danny and the promo code. You can get 5% off. And if you're in the States, there's no taxes added onto that, so that's another savings in itself. So check them out at bearwood.com. I'm using a, this is a little small It's not a cut saw. I don't know what brand it is. It came with this little set came with the Fordham I got, so I'm not sure. It looks like a mini cut saw sphere. But like I said, I don't know what brand it is. But it removes a lot of wood fast, so I'm doing the bulk of it, and then I'll go back in with the diamond bit and smooth it out. Now on these pectoral fins, I switch to this real tiny little ball here. Don't want to get in between the spines. Probably can't see the detail on that with the marker on there. But it's the spines are in there. That first little spine there. Alright, so what I need to do now is I need to draw out the spines on the tail here and get that in. And let me look at some reference photos here and I'll be right back. I'm going to say that this rotary tool makes it a lot easier. Not that I'm highly experienced, but I've done enough of them now. It's coming easier. I mean, I remember when that would take me half a day to get those in there. Okay, so I've got all the spines in. Now I'm going to go in and put in the little where they split here at the ends. I think I'm going to use this little, it's a real flat diamond bit. I'm going to start way up here. I used to burn these in. And I still may go over them with the burner. Yeah, I think a slower speed works better because I started kind of cutting down into the wood there. May got a little too deep. That's why I start on the non-show side. I don't know if it's showing on the camera or not. This is where the thinness comes in, by taking the edge of that down. I don't know if you can see that. I'm putting the tiny little lines that go across the spines. I did it on the other fins, but I realized I needed to turn it way down. I mean, you can barely hear it running, so it's just barely spinning. I'm just going through and barely putting the indication of these little rings, I guess, are kind of rings around the spines. And you can go even slower. Even slower. So it may be something the judges pick out. You just never know what make them check another tick point. All right. But I did that on all of these. Starting to shape up. I think this is going to go on this side, and he'll be flared out a little bit on this side, and then this side will be more folded back. So then so next will be putting the carving the detail in the gills, but I'm going to stop there for today and pick up on it tomorrow. So I can kind of look at what I've done for a little while. I've learned that if I don't go straight through, if I stop and look at a project every once in a while, sometimes I'll see mistakes that I need to change, and before I get too far I can fix them. I think that tail's looking pretty good. Okay, that's going to be it for part 2 of this Bluegill Bream wood carving project. I've decided that I would leave the gill and head detail for part 3 when I do the slots and burn the scales on. So if you got any questions or comments about this segment, leave them for me in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing. So see you guys on part 3.